Okay, so I will demo two recipe. One is vegetarian and one is meat. So the vegetarian one, we only need three major ingredient. One is a chive, one is a scrambled egg. Here is the two eggs, and one is this vermicelli. So the vermicelli is I bought this
Vermicelli.
Vermicelli. You put it in the water to let the dry vermicelli to soft, and then it become like this. This is actually like it's more for texture. If you don't want it, you don't need it. So, okay, so we will start. The chive, just mix the chive with the egg, and probably should have more chive, but it's okay. For the vermicelli, yes, you want to cut it very small segments, so that in each dumpling you will have yeah, you don't want to have a very long one in each one. Okay, you can have more. This is really depend on how much you like for the texture. Okay, then for the ingredient, we'll add some salt. Salt is 1 pinch, 2 pinch. And this is Chinese 5 spices. It includes coriander, clove, celery, and some anise, and fennel. So I will also add a little bit of this to add the flavor. And then I like to add some here, the sesame oil. We just bought it. Okay, 1, 2. And then I will add a little bit egg yolk. This is not really egg yolk, but it should be egg yolk. This is just to let them to be together, almost like a glue. Okay, that's all the ingredient, and then you can just use a tool to mix them up, and later you can just wrap them in your dumpling. So this is the vegetarian one. I will repeat, the most important is the chive and the egg and some salt. So if you got that 3 there, it's pretty much, the other one is just depend on your taste. Okay, this is the one I'm going to demo. Is I call it pork with cilantro, because this are the 2 major one. So you cut the cilantro to very, very small pieces, and you just add a lot of them. And then you add a scallion. If you like scallion, you can add a lot too, but the cilantro is a major flavor. And then you use the ground meat. The portion probably is just 1 to 1. So if you look at the bowl, it's like 1 part of pork with 1 part of cilantro mixed with scallion. And then, so this is the 2 major ones. The actual just depend on what you like. So we like to add some mushroom. We mince the mushroom to small pieces.
These are shiitake mushrooms.
Okay, shiitake mushroom. Okay, I also really like the texture of the dried shrimp. So this I bought from Chinatown. So I first put it in the water. It has to be the dried shrimp because it's very crunchy. When you eat a dumpling, you suddenly have a bite of crunchy, very flavorful things. It's make you very happy. Okay, so I also add this, and I also add some ginger This is ginger. Yes. And a little bit garlic. Just a little bit. Yeah. Okay, now the ingredient. This I really want to make it flavorful. So, besides 2 pinch of salt and some 5 spices. For this one, I'm also going to add soy sauce. So in Chinese, we have this regular soy sauce, just 2 drops. And then we also have this dark soy sauce. The dark one will make the meat darker, but also have a different flavor. So we usually add both of them. And we're also going to add this oyster sauce. Oh, too much, but it's okay. And again, sesame oil. So this is the typical Chinese ingredient. You can add them in different proportion for any dish. They all taste very good, and you don't need to be precise. The salt, the salt is, I know I already did salt. I just want to point out that it's when you can taste it a little bit after you mix them, and if you don't think, well, when you smell it, it's not salty enough, you can add more. So it's not like 2 pinches. It's like the standard. That definite. So what you're going to do also for this one, you also want to add the egg yolk, and then you're going to mix them. And when you mix them, you really want to mix them to turn in the same direction. The reason is this will make the meat. There's some protein or fat come out the meat that will eventually glue everything together. If you don't do it in the same direction, that texture won't come out. So you can see that it's already start to look like they're going to be together. Yeah, so you just do it maybe for 1 to 2 minutes, maybe let's say 2 minutes. Then your meat filling is ready. Okay.
Okay, so we have our prepared dough, and we're gonna need a knife, a rolling pin, and a bunch of flour to keep things from sticking together. So the first step here, take the dough, make sure it's good there. This is 2 cups of flour, and so I usually cut this into 4 pieces and do each of those separately. It's a manageable chunk, so cut that in half. Now it's important to keep them in an airtight container. You can see it's condensed there. Otherwise, dough will dry out very quickly. So the first step with these things, we want to roll them into a long, thin tube. This can take some time, depending on the consistency of the dough. And it's not an exact science. You just kind of roll it out until you've got it somewhere you like it. Normally, I will do it until it's about 1/2 inch. Okay, so got that. Now, this is the secret magic. This rolling pin has these rubber bands about 1 millimeter thick, and that prevents us from ever rolling anything too thin. So I take some flour. Need more, but first off, we spread a bunch on the cutting board. Take this and we cut it into little chunks like so. Okay, now each one, just flatten it out. and give it a good roll. That one ended up a little funny. Ooh, not enough flour either. So let's add some more flour. Make sure there's lots of flour, lots and lots of flour. And actually, it can help if you take one of these things and give it a good smash right into the flour. Send the flour everywhere, but it definitely will not stick when you do it like that. See, much better. These ones are not turning out as round as I usually like them, but it's been a while, so.
It's totally okay because when we make the dumplings, they're going to look just like dumpling.
There.
Great.
The trick is not to go too aggressive when you do your first few rolls, so you can leave some thickness to push around to make it a lot rounder.
By the way, this is the American style. The Chinese style don't roll the wrapper this way. But this is
Yes, they do. I've seen them at the dumpling making place.
No, it's a little bit different. But this is pretty good. Very consistent. Good job. Okay, this is the last step is to wrap the dumpling. So what we need is this awesome wrapper made from yen and some water, and there are 3 fillings. I already talked about this is the pork one. You can see the what do you call consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's very sticky. You can even make a meatball with this. This is the chive egg one, and we have an additional one that Ian just is experimenting it. So this has Ian, could you introduce?
Oh, it's got a bunch of things in there. It's mainly Napa cabbage, carrots, and more shiitake mushrooms. The trick with the Napa cabbage is that you cut the leafy parts up and let them sit in salt for a long time. And that'll just suck the water out of them. Then you give them a good squeeze, and you have proper made cabbage for this sort of thing. That's a pretty common ingredient in these. And aside from that, it's a bunch of the spices you saw Kate put in hers.
Okay, now we will wrap. So demo. When you first start, you can put just a little bit to experiment, like. So the purpose is just wrap it,
Now,
seal it.
Kate's got a little bowl of water there, and that makes the edges that she's wrapping sticky when she wipes the water on them, so that they stick together easier.
Mm-hmm. So you put the meat, you put the filling in the middle, and then you just fold it. And the first step is just press it in the middle, and then you start from the side, and then just press it one time, one fold each time. You can see there are some folds, and then you do the next side, and make sure they're well sealed very well, and that's it, the first one. So a good dumpling is that they can sit by itself. So I will demo another one.
Those folds make one of the sides a little shorter, which is what gives them their characteristic crescent shape.
Okay. Put in the middle and then dip some water using your hands, and then fold it. You can see this. I put more meat here. And then you just fold it, fold it, fold it, fold it. And this is a small wrapper, but you can see that how much you can fill it. Yeah. So when you make the fillings, it's also it should taste saltier than it usually You feel it's salty, that's about right. Because when you wrap it, it's inside. You may not. If it's not salty enough, you probably won't taste the flavor. Another one, press in the middle, and then just push. Press it, fold it, and fold it. Okay. I'll demo, I'll use this side, a little bit gross. I'll demo like vegetarian one. Hold on. Okay. It's a vegetarian one. Okay. You can see that the vegetarian one, when they're not really sticky, it's really a little bit challenge to wrap them. That's why we put egg in the fillings to make it sticky. It will help when you wrap them. But as long as you can wrap them, it should be okay. So press in the middle and then press it. Yes. This is the veggie one. Put it here. Okay.